Hi, I'm Mayor Kathy Sheehan, and I'm really excited to be sharing this opportunity with you to explain where we are with our COVID recovery funding and where we are in the process, and to provide you with information about how you can get involved. In March of 2021, President Biden signed a major piece of legislation into law, the American Rescue Plan Act, or ARPA. Unlike previous COVID recovery bills, ARPA included billions of dollars of financial assistance directly to cities like ours to fund our local needs and priorities. In Albany's case, with the advocacy of leaders like Senator Schumer, Senator Gillibrand, and Congressman Tonko, we received more than $80 million in ARPA funds. We know that the pandemic isn't over yet, and we may face more disruptions and challenges in the months ahead. But to get our recovery going, we are making $25 million of this allocation available right now to nonprofits, businesses, organizations, and city departments that have specific ideas about how Albany can build back better together. To receive the funding, you'll need to apply, and our application process will occur in 2 phases. In the first phase, you will submit a short proposal. We're looking for your ideas. Specifically, we want to support projects that have clearly defined goals and metrics, that reflect our principles, and most importantly, that will have the greatest positive impact on the most people in our city. Each proposal should serve to improve at least one of the 5 priority impact areas identified by the city's COVID Recovery Task Force. And I encourage you, before you start, read the task force's report. It's critically important to understand what the task force found. The key areas are supporting the public health response, assistance to workers and families through education, workforce, and human services, assistance to workers and families through housing, transportation, and community revitalization, small business support, and travel, tourism, hospitality, and arts recovery. You can learn more about the 8 guiding principles and 5 priority areas in the City of Albany COVID Recovery Task Force final report. Again, that's located at albanyforall.gov. All project proposals received in this first phase will be carefully reviewed by an impact area review team with diverse membership, including city staff and local subject matter experts. There are 5 impact area teams, 1 focused on each of the 5 priority areas for ARPA funding. After that, a leadership team comprised of the city council leaders, the city treasurer, me, and 2 senior members of my team will review each project proposal. There will also be an opportunity for public comment on the proposals at this stage. The evaluators will take these comments into consideration. After this 3-pronged review, the proposals that show the most promise will be invited to a second round, which will include a more detailed application and may involve an in-person interview. We're committed to doing everything we can to make sure we understand you, your idea, and your plan for making it happen so that everyone has the best chance to succeed, and that together we build back Albany better than ever. To get started on a project proposal, go to albanyforall.com and click the Start a Proposal link. You'll be taken to this screen, which is the form you'll use to submit your application. Please note that you can save and return your work, but we still encourage you to read through the whole application carefully before you get started. Let's walk through it a section at a time. The first section is simple. We're just asking for some basic information about you, your organization, and how to contact you. Please remember that these funds will only be available to applicants who are individuals, organizations, not-for-profit entities, for-profit entities, or city departments residing in or doing business in the City of Albany. A question in this section, Acknowledgement of Subrecipient Requirements, asks that you verify for us that you commit to working with us to meet necessary federal rules and regulations about how these dollars must be tracked, accounted for, and reported back to the federal government. This is important so that we avoid waste and fraud and ensure that all of these resources are used as efficiently and effectively as possible. We do need every organization that applies to have a data universal number system, or a unique entity identifier number. If you don't have one yet, you can get one from grants.gov. And if you don't qualify for one, consider partnering with an organization that does. Collaboration is one of our core principles for awarding this funding. If you need help getting a number, please send an email to albanyforall@albanyny.gov and someone on our team will be in touch with you. As we move down the application form, you'll see blue boxes with various guiding principles in them. We're calling these out because they're very important and they'll factor heavily into how we make our funding decisions. The city's COVID Recovery Task Force developed these 8 guiding principles to make sure that every idea and project we support will be as efficient, impactful, and successful as possible. You'll see that each section asks a series of specific questions that will help reviewers understand exactly how well your proposal aligns with these principles. Note that we're carefully limiting the number of words you can spend on some of these answers. So while we need your application to be thoughtful and complete, we also encourage you to be appropriately concise. The longest answer you'll be asked to give is the project narrative, where you'll have up to 1,500 words to describe your project idea. As you will see, there are some specific questions here that we want you to respond to. What is the specific need or opportunity in the City of Albany that this project seeks to address? Using current data and statistics here to make your case will be really helpful. First, how does this project meet a need that has been created or made worse by the COVID pandemic? 2, what is the target population and/or geographic area for the project? 3, what do you expect to achieve through this project? And how will you measure your progress toward these goals? 4, are you referring to any best practices in your idea? If so, is there clear evidence to demonstrate that this idea or approach will work? And 5, can this project be scaled up or replicated to reach more people or across a bigger portion of our city? And if so, how? We're not asking for perfect answers. We just want you to be honest with the information you have. After you hit submit, a specifically focused impact area review team for the priority area or areas your proposal aims to address, and the leadership team will review each proposal. City staff will provide as much feedback as they can on each proposal and may ask you for some additional information. If your idea seems similar to another that we've heard about or received, we may try to make a connection in hopes that you can combine forces and give us an even stronger application. If you still have questions about what we're looking for or aren't sure how to answer some of the questions, don't worry. City staff and members of the leadership team will be holding office hours and conducting webinars for the community for the next 6 weeks to help make sure all of your questions are answered. No proposals will be reviewed prior to Tuesday, March 1st, so you shouldn't worry about trying to get your proposal in earlier than that. We'd much prefer that they be complete, thoughtful, and consistent with our guiding principles as opposed to returned before March 1st. After March 1st, we'll invite certain proposing organizations to make full applications on a regular basis. This full application will also be carefully reviewed by our impact area review teams and the leadership team. The best applications will be recommended for approval on an ongoing basis. Entities may continue to submit proposals on a rolling basis after March 1st, so long as funding remains available. But our strong preference is that proposals are received by March 1st so that we can start to get this money working in our community.
Thank you for watching this video. We want to hear from you. Go to albanyforall.com and share with us your ideas for our future and how we can build back better.